Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nancy from Nefty and creator of Conscious EFT, and thrilled to bits to be here with a graduate, master level graduate, Carol Richard of Carol Richard Coaching and the Better Sleep Community. Thanks,
Yeah.
Carol.
Oh, I'm so excited for today's conversation, Nancy.
And to just, to be speaking to each other about something which is so close to our heart. And I know you spent many, many years, we've been mentoring together and training, and you've become an expert in this whole area of sleep success. But more than that, like more than the subject area expertise, is what I'm so excited about is actually the way you work with people
Mm,
and that sense of just being held by you and being understood by you and just to be such a safe container for their nervous systems and how they can just find that place of biological safety, which is ultimately going to lead to their sleep success. So I'm really
right.
excited to hear you speak about that in your own particular way. So thank you for all the years that we've spent together, and thank you for doing this interview.
Yeah, and we did spend quite a few years together. I often refer to you as like Nancy, my mentor. So my community, when they read or listen to this interview, I'm just gonna say, that's Nancy. I even have a slide with you on in my community when we start talking about tapping, right? Like one time you had said, why would we want to choose tapping? Well, so
Mhm.
we can just be better, so we
Yeah,
can help our nervous system regulate. I can't remember exactly how you said it, but I'm
I
quoting
remember.
you there.
What did I say? It was like so we can feel better, so that we can think better, and so that we can act more clearly. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what I'm so excited about is how you model conscious EFT, right? EFT tapping is a very powerful modality within energy psychology. But when we pair that with such a coherent framework that we have in
Mhm.
conscious EFT, it really, really allows us to go to places that just EFT tapping won't take us by itself, as powerful as it is. So
Yeah.
here's my question for you, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
So when you work with clients, around your expertise in supporting sleep.
Hmm.
What you're doing isn't just EFT as a modality, right? You're holding it with this larger trauma-informed, nervous system safe framework. Can you speak to how you see safety, nervous
Hmm.
system regulation, and discernment guiding your work with clients?
Yeah, that's such a good question because so if we kind of divide my work, I don't know how best to approach this, but we're going to divide it because we're going to talk about sleep first.
Mhm.
Because people come to me because they're struggling with sleep, which I understand from such a deep level from all the years that I struggled with sleep. And, like being so sleep deprived that I couldn't feel my hands or feet, like the extreme. So when people come to me and they're sleep deprived like that, first thing I know is I get it. I so get it. And then, I got introduced to EFT tapping and I did some tapping for myself and I managed to get sleep again. But what was missing for me was the framework you just talked about. And so that's when I started training with you and mentoring with you because I was like looking for, okay, people can come to me and we can tap as an EFT practitioner, but what am I really doing? I needed to know what that was. And so when I started kind of exploring more and then we started learning about the nervous system and how the three states of our nervous system, I really understood that what was keeping people awake wasn't their behavior, but it was the state of their nervous system because they got stuck in that like fight flight, that hyped up
Mhm.
state. And then because of that, their mindset became, I don't know how to sleep anymore. I've tried everything, nothing works. And then their behaviors became that they would scroll on their phone at nighttime. And so when I understood all that, then I was like, okay, so how do I help people? Because it really depends where their nervous system is. right? So safety for me, you said, can you define safety? Safety for me is when we feel safe enough,
Mhm.
and I put enough in quotation here, safe enough to allow our body to let go and surrender to go to sleep. Because if I don't feel safe enough, nervous system wise, then I'm going to stay awake and I'm going to stay alert because I'm protecting myself, or my nervous system is protecting me, right? So when I work with people, we use that framework, and I learned that from you, like emotional well, I named them a little bit different than what you do, but very similar. Emotional well-being, our mindset, and our behavior.
Yeah.
And then once we know that, then tapping becomes part of the tool within that to
Right.
help us regulate our nervous system, help switch our mindset, and help us work with our behaviors, with our urges and impulses. So it's a small part, but a big part at the same
Mhm.
time.
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
in service to
Yeah.
something
Insert.
found, right? It's we're
Right.
not tapping because tapping does some miraculous thing overnight. We're tapping in order to achieve this sense of biological cellular safety
Safety.
in
Yeah.
order, as you say, the system feels safe enough to surrender to sleep. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if your nervous system doesn't feel safe enough, if your biology doesn't feel safe, and I mean, it can be, I never work in the past. We've learned that with you. We don't have to go to the past
Yeah,
because what's showing up in the present moment has a biological imprint from the energy of the past.
exactly. Exactly.
So that I think helps a lot of people feel safer as well
Mhm.
because they know we're not going to go dig deep.
Yeah, which itself is dysregulating to a nervous system here today. And
Yeah,
so simply saying to people, I am here with you today, and we are going to keep our focus on what it is today. And we're going to use that then to explore how do we actually allow greater safety in this
yeah,
nervous system. Mm.
yeah. And when we start looking at all that, so I add a lot of like orienting. One of the things we talk about is our resources. So, how do I have resources to help me in the moment when I'm having a dysregulated moment? I don't even like that word because it's not really dysregulation, right? It's just our nervous system is acting in service of our survival.
Mhm, mhm.
And so, but when I know that the present moment right here, right now is safe, what can I do then to get me back into the present moment?
Yeah.
And orienting has been an amazing tool that I use, and I pair it with tapping,
Mhm.
which I love, right? Because we can tap and we can orient to the room we're in. And I have this saying that's really funny, like there's no tiger sitting on my bed.
That's right. That's right.
But people who are in fight or flight, when they walk into that bedroom, it feels like there's a tiger sitting on their bed that's just
Yeah.
gonna destroy their night.
And when we bring energy psychology, EFT as a form of energy psychology,
Mhm.
when we bring into that into the picture, the whole framework just broadens so that everything all of a sudden makes sense.
Mhm.
And that the way then you work with your clients is it is so cutting through that shame and the
Yeah.
chronic nature of these danger loops that get set up in the nervous system. It's what I love about watching you work is
Mhm.
the gentleness and just the holding and this
Yeah.
beautiful discernment around what does that nervous system need right here in this
Right
moment that
now.
is going to
Mhm.
help it just reach a little bit more safety, as you say, safe enough. The sleep field, as you know, is full of quick fixes.
Oh,
There's,
yeah.
do this, do this, do this, do this, and you will sleep 8 hours tonight. Well, that is not how biology works. Right.
No, and you don't know, Nancy, how many people have come to me and said, I went and I did CBTI and I actually got worse.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, of course you did, because you went against your biology.
Yeah.
Like your body was screaming for sleep and at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and you were told to stay up till midnight. So you past, like you weren't listening to your body. And that's why we do following our biological impulses as part of the program, because, when we need to take a drink of water, we should drink. When we need to go use the washroom, we go use the washroom. And we're building a relationship with our body,
Yeah.
which allows us then to tune into, oh, wait, I'm tired. So maybe I should go have a rest. And the next thing you know, people are like, well, I just knew that I was going to sleep. Right? I was like, okay, so we're building trust with their biology that then's built trust with their sleep.
Right.
And it's amazing to watch these people go because good sleep, so I need to say this, a good sleeper is not someone who sleeps well every night.
No.
A good sleeper is someone who knows what to do on the rough nights, right?
Yeah.
Because we're all going to have rough nights. I don't know
Well,
a single person that doesn't have rough nights when life is out of control,
I mean, the,
right?
the the truth about where we are as a society and a culture right now is that there is enormous amount of incoherence, disorganization, chaos, fragmentation, translated into all social media messages, all kinds of things which are giving signals of danger to a nervous system. And so the expectation that one is going to sleep 8 hours soundly every single night is unrealistic. And I
Yeah.
love then how you help people soften their expectations of themselves, soften the pressure on themselves, which is then going to just allow greater safety. And it's a basic premise of conscious
Yeah.
EFT that when we can establish safety, then trust and growth emerge through that gate
Oh,
naturally.
and it's so amazing. And it's so natural and it's so, I don't want to say easy, but it's so easy. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
use the word easy. I
Yeah.
like so many people in my community, they'll say, you know what, Carol, I was up 3 o'clock in the morning and you know what? I went back to sleep within 5 minutes. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, of course. And so I also like to share facts because I don't want anybody to read sleep books because they are written out of fear.
Yes.
If you don't sleep, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So then all of a sudden you go like, oh my God, I didn't sleep last night. And I'll always remember I had an email from Brad Yates once, which I was like, oh, Brad Yates, I'm so
Our
excited
dear
to.
friend Brad, yes.
And so he said he had read the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I think that's the name. And anyway, so when he read it, it said in there that if you miss 1 hour of sleep, it can cause irreparable damage to your brain.
Ay, ay, ay. How to get a threat response going in a hurry.
Right? And he said he lost sleep from reading the sleep book. And I'm like, yeah. And and so where I kind of chuckled a little bit to myself as I'm replying, well, that is such a limiting belief, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, and here's someone who actually works in this world with limiting beliefs and still allowed a sleep book to
Yeah.
disrupt his sleep. And I said, because if that was the case, do you know I went 2 years without sleeping more than 2 to 3 hours at night, where I lost sensation in my hands and feet? That's how bad my body was breaking down. Do you see any damage to my brain?
Not that I can figure out.
Right? So it's all about mindset because our mind is so powerful. And so if we believe that we've caused irreparable damage, of course. But what if we held the truth on that with just
Right.
gently tapping,
That's right. And the
right?
resilience of this body is breathtaking, isn't it? When it's held,
Breathtaking.
right? When it's held with some safety, some loving acceptance. And your point about Brad and his email sort of raises this hmm, question for me with all these beautiful wearable devices we have now and how much they can offer us. But I do interact with a significant number of people where the first thing they're doing in the morning is checking how good was my sleep, and that actually can become a signal into a threat response. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I do have a lot of people that ask me, like, what's the best device? And I'm like, none. You're your best device.
that's right.
I don't track sleep. So when I work with people, we don't track sleep. We don't wear devices. We don't do supplements unless they are that you've seen a naturopath or your doctor.
Yeah,
If you are taking sleep supplements, we do not stop them until we build enough safety in your nervous system. And
absolutely.
it's amazing how when you build the safety first, they will automatically come off the medication on their own. And all of a sudden they're like, I can't believe I took that medication for years. And I always say, I'm not a doctor. I know nothing about medication,
That's
but
right.
I don't want you to stop them until you either talk to your doctor or you have enough resources to replace them, because the sleeping pill or the supplement or the whatever
Mhm.
is actually a resource for your nervous system in this moment.
Yeah. In this moment, right?
In
And
this moment.
And it may not always be the resource that your nervous system is actually asking for. It may be
No.
asking for something new next month, next year. And as you say, to attune into our own biology so we can hear those messages more
Yeah.
clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's so amazing. And so in the Better Sleep community, I've had people in there for like 2 years that are still coming to every call every week, because they're like, yeah, we've got, because it's a 12 module kind of program, and we go through them like every week. We do a module like this week. So excited. We start like with understanding the nervous system. So we go through the states, we start naming what it feels like for us. We do this notice and name where, like, I want them to sit, like, can you feel what you're feeling? Is it your mind that's active? Is it your body? Is it like you have an image that pops up, right?
Right. Right.
And so we go through all that before we even start attempting tapping,
Yeah.
because they need to understand that. And so one time I asked this question that was so beautiful. I'm like, so if your anxiety could talk to you,
Oh,
dear
yes.
Nancy, what would your anxiety be saying in this moment?
Goodness,
And how
yes.
is it like, how can you thank it for showing up in this moment? Oh, this person started having the big tears because she was like, it is only showing up because I
You
need to set a boundary and I haven't.
Wow.
Then,
Well, that is another thing I love about your work and the way you hold the work is that sleep is a leading indicator. It's a tip of the iceberg. And so no wonder people are staying with you, because even as their sleep gets more successful, they are discovering what it is and what it is in their current life which was too threatening to face. And they begin to feel the courage and the clarity to turn toward those issues. And so they may find you through
yeah,
sleep, but they stay with you because of who you are and how you hold people in the work.
yeah.
And
Oh, I
so
love it. Love
I
it.
know you've just recently done a presentation for the Tapping Summit this year,
Yes,
which is so super exciting. And I'm
yes.
just wondering, having done that, recorded that presentation, and as people listen to that, what are you hoping that they feel as they listen? What are you hoping that they experience with you?
I'm hoping. So if I just really like sink
Yeah,
in and I ask myself, what am I hoping? I'm hoping that they don't feel alone anymore in their sleep struggle. That would be the first thing. Because when we're struggling with sleep and we have people around us that are like, just go to bed earlier, or um, try this, try that, we don't feel heard,
right.
which creates more anxiety and more dysregulation that makes us have a harder time sleeping.
Yeah,
So the first thing I would want people to take away when they listen to me on the World Tapping Summit, or even hear with you today or any of my videos on YouTube, is that they recognize that they're not alone.
yes,
There are more people suffering with sleep than we know,
mm,
and there's a way out if
yeah,
they choose to.
yeah,
There's a soft, gentle way where they can learn about sleep, because we do have a week on sleep, like what are sleep cycles, what is the sleep drive, how
yeah.
does our body, what's the biology of sleep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I like that. That's a really good one. What's the biology of sleep?
Biology of sleep. Yes,
All right.
exactly.
So that we can then work with our sleep systems in our body to make sure that we create the best possible outcome for our sleep. And so, what I would like people to know is that they're not alone. if I can go through what I went through and be so sleep deprived to like losing my car one day, I couldn't find my car after work because my brain wasn't working, to like losing sensation in my hands and feet, to like just awful, to where I am today. And what I've done is nervous system regulation work using tapping.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I see it with other people. I want people to know that there's hope
Yeah.
and there is a way for them to, and I'm not there to fix them. That's another thing. I'm there to show them and guide them.
Yeah.
And they get to choose what they do and what they don't do. But I'm here to provide them with the information that I know and my heart works. And I'm also here to hold the belief for them while they're working on building their own belief, right? Because they, at the beginning, they're like, they're not sure. Like, really, I'm going to tap on my face and I'm going to orient to this room and feel my feet on the floor and I'm going to sleep better. And I'm like, yeah, you will.
Yeah.
So I'm here to hold their skepticism or their disbelief until they can actually feel it for themselves because I know it's possible.
And so I want to say to the listener, right? This is the kind of practitioner that Nefty trains.
Yeah.
This is the work that we do. It's not just about tapping. It's about how do we use tapping as a modality within this much, much larger framework. And Carol, I am just thrilled, proud, grateful
Mm,
for how you are bringing all this to life in such an important issue for people around sleep. And so I encourage people who are listening to us to reach out to Carol, also to listen to her presentation on the Tapping Summit, and to really invite you to have an experience of that. I'm sure Carol's, you gave lots of information, lots of
mm,
content, but more than that, right? Feel who
yeah.
Carol is and feel what she's offering you. Bigger and more than just the intellectual content of it all. So
Yeah.
thank you, Carol. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in this conversation. And as I say,
Yeah.
just talking about what is so profoundly moving and for which we are truly grateful, this work that we get to do.
Yeah. And what an amazing life to be able to bring this work out into the world because, and just to put in a little plug here for Nancy, I wouldn't be who I am today without Nefty and Nancy, in more ways than one. And
Thank you.
so if anybody is really wanting to bring this work out into the world, like, Hank, like, reach out to Nancy. Um, it's phenomenal the way she holds us. And I think I got a lot of that from her that I am now bringing into the world. And if I can just say one last thing, tapping is an amazing tool. But one time, I don't know where, when you said this, what's even more important to that is attuning to the person in front of us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's where the work is. When you can understand and you can attune to the person in front of you, you can really create magic. And I have you to thank for teaching me that so that I can actually do that work in the world now. So
Well,
thank you.
our mutual admiration society.
I know. Cool. So thank you so much. And I look forward to chatting with you again in
Absolutely.
the near future.
Thanks, Carol. Bye,
You're
everyone.
welcome.